Alright, now I'll be showing you how to make a cassette tape loop. It will be a 5-second standard loop. But firstly, our equipment. And the necessities are a cassette in which to make your loop, some spare cassette tape. I'll be using this, which I've already been cannibalizing for other projects. A small scissor. This is just an ordinary hobby scissor. And then you'll need either some scotch tape, just not ordinary, or some of this splicing tape. This is 3mm and fits the cassette tape, which can come in handy. I think it's easier to work with, at least. Then you'll need a screwdriver, which I have here. This is a precession screwdriver set. It's just a cheap one, doesn't cost much, but you get these very handy screwdrivers. They're really nice because they got these nuts on the end, which turns around, makes it easier to remove the screws. Then we've got a ruler. This is just a small 20cm one, which is not much when you're making a cassette tape loop. That's why I've made this line down here. This is how much cassette tape we'll need for our 5-second loop, and it comes in handy. Then there's some optional equipment. I've got a pair of tweezers, which can be nice to have if you've got big fingers. And then there's this splicing block. This is a 1/8 inch or 3.17mm, which fits the cassette tape in it. I'll be showing you why I'm using this later. So firstly, we'll be removing our screws from our cassette tape. I've cheated a bit because this is an old cassette tape and it's a bit tough to open without everything going everywhere. So I've already removed the screws. In here you'll see the reels, which usually holds the cassette tape, like you can see over here. Then we've got the guide roller, which helps the tape moving through down here in the front. We see the magnetic shield, which helps with noise on the tape, and then the pressure pad to help the cassette player read the tape. Now we'll be cutting out our cassette tape to an appropriate length. So we take the tape, roll it out, make sure we have enough. Then we have to make sure in each end to cut diagonally. Why is because when we splice it together, we will have a less of a surface area for the reader head to read when it's put together again. This helps with the click or bump sound you might hear in loops when it starts over after a full rotation. So that's about it there. There we go. Back in there and off to the side. Alright, now we got our tape. So be sure when you splice it together that you can see it naturally curls around this way. That's because this outside part is where the sound will be recorded onto. So for this I'll be taking our splice block and I'll be putting my first end here. And there we go. As you can see, it fits and it helps me to keep it in place when I use the tape, the scotch tape or the splicing tape. So, and then the other side, something like this. It can be adjusted slightly if you're lucky and your fingers are not too shaky and or fat. There we go. As you can see, it can be a lengthy process even using extra equipment. There we go. Nope. There we go. It also helps if you have dry fingers, because I do not have dry fingers right now, which sticks to the tape. Now for our splicing tape. There we go. There. Just cut a small piece. There we go. And then this end, because my nail tore it up a bit, so it might get in the way when the tape does a revolution. Now, then we just put the tape down. Hopefully, successfully. And there we go. That's good enough. That's good enough. So you don't have to make it perfect. If it's a bit too big, you'll probably get some nice wobbly sounds. And if not, well, you'll just have to start over if it's too tight. Now, I've taken our cassette back and I'll be putting it in here. And that's where the tweezers might come in handy. So it helps with getting over these guide rollers to the sides. And if I'm lucky, I'll be getting it in between the teeth here. There we go. Be careful with the teeth. Oh, it's a bit unaligned here. Just back down. There we go. And there we go. Now it's together. Be careful of the plastic teeth here. They might snag on the tape when you close it down. So be sure to be careful with that, because that might ruin the tape. All right, down. Get your screwdriver again. There we go. Yeah, sweaty fingers makes them a bit sticky, so be sure to either wipe off your hands really well before you do this, or don't sit in a lot of heat. That might be nice as well. There. Last one here. That might not be necessary, but there we go. Right, so, and that's how you make a 5-second cassette tape loop. Quite easy. Remember, if you want to record on this, if there's nothing pre-recorded on it, you'll want to put some scotch tape over here. These holes are for securing you won't record something new onto a tape by accident, and then you're good to go. All right, that's it. I will see you in the next video.